Hello, my skating fanatics. Another episode of That Figure Skating Show. I'm your host, Asher Hill, and I am being blinded from across by the brilliance of Brenda Irving. How are you today?
No, I needed that ego stroke this morning. It's been a rough one.
Oh, call me whenever.
Yeah.
I will your head won't be so big you can't even fit through the store or out of it. So don't worry, always. And of course, we are doing our preview for the Grand Prix Final. We have been careening towards this. It is happening this weekend in Grenoble, France. Not only the seniors, but the juniors will be there as well.
Yeah, this is like Christmas
Yes.
for figure skating fans, right? They get to see the top six in each of the four disciplines.
Yes.
But
Okay.
who's not going to be there?
Yes, so we got some news before we get to our podium picks. We have the Canadian pair team of Diana Stiletto-Dudek and Maxime Deschamps out of the Grand Prix Final. So disappointing.
Yeah, they're the only team to win both of their Grand Prix events. And apparently Max is really sick, and you know this team, they will go, tread over hot coals to get to the Grand Prix Final, much like they did last year when Deanna was sick. But here, Maxim must be pretty darn sick for them not to show up there.
She was sick almost all the way from the second Grand Prix
Yes.
to
Worlds.
Canadians.
Yeah,
to Worlds.
even Worlds, yeah.
Yeah. Horrible infection. And we have another skater that will not be at the Grand Prix Final, and that is the French skater Adam Chao-Him-Fa.
Yeah, he hurt his ankle. Unfortunately, he's not going to be there. He's so exciting. We're always, pumped up to see him skate, and that's a disappointment.
Yeah, for sure. Wishing these two teams and skater the fastest recovery
Right.
and full health so that we can see them for the rest of the season because they are so dynamic and often challenged for medals. And of course, our last little bit of news, the French team of Gabriela Papadakis and Guillaume Cizeron have announced their retirement officially.
Well, that was a poorly kept secret. I mean,
Yeah.
we were all anticipating that. I mean, they're going out on a high note. They won the Olympic title. They are 5-time world champions. And they gave us some of the greatest moments in skating history. And one of them, was the rivalry that they had with Tessa Virtue and Scott Moyer, particularly at those 2018 Olympics.
Yeah, they were true artists, like ethereal, unmatched. They were poetry on ice. You wanted to write sonnets dedicated to their programs and to them. And my favorite was at the 2018 Olympics.
Oh,
at
that
Furley's
was
free dance.
so good.
Oh, it was brilliant. And of course, that whacking program from Beijing, bringing queer dance styles to, some people don't like to say it, figure skating pretty queer. So that was so beautiful to see, and they will be surely missed, but they've changed the sport forever. They will be copied forever,
Right.
but they can never be replicated.
Okay, ice dance at the Grand Prix Final. I'm interested to see your podium picks.
So in first place, you're gonna be mad at me. I'm just like, oh, actually, wait, Brenda, before we go to that, we have something special. Our very own Brenda Irving has won the IOC Golden Ring Award for Best Film for her doc, Running a Revolution. The Golden Rings Award is a prestigious international competition organized by the IOC to promote and award excellence in broadcasting of the Olympic Games.
I told you not to say it. Anyway, yes, thank you, and to Scott Russell and to Ian Hogue, everyone who helped out in this endeavor. And you can watch it. If you haven't watched it,
I haven't watched
go
it.
to CBC Gem and you can see it there.
And again, like I said, I'm going to make your head so big, I will always stroke your ego. Okay?
Okay, ice
now
dance.
Back
Yeah.
to ice dance, back to the task at hand. Okay, in first place, you're going to be mad at me. I have Chalk and Bates in first, second, Gillies and Poirier, and third, Lejoie and Laga, which I think is also kind of controversial.
Oh, it's sacrilegious to put the Americans ahead of the Canadians. Okay, I went partly with my heart, but I have Piper and Paul sitting in first place. I just think they have two tremendous vehicles that I think should be at the top. But then I put the Brits, Fear and Gibson, who are the only undefeated ice dance teams this season, in second place, and I put Chalk and Bates in third.
Oh,
Debate.
Whoa. I don't think, I think
Okay.
that's a little unreasonable. So I think the Brits, they have obviously had a huge trajectory, great season for them, undefeated, like you said, but their scores in that free dance are still well below what you would want for like a top 3 at Worlds. And at Grand Prix Final, we often see those world scores start to emerge. They've only hit 122, 123 maybe at their highest. And that's kind of more comparable to Zachary Lagat and Marjorie Lajoie, who I think will finish 3rd ahead of the Italians.
I think there's a big push on that judging panel to see the Brits in the top 3, particularly at the World Championships. Yeah. It's a judge sport.
It is a judge
sport.
Right?
Anyway, we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. But I think Chalk and Bates will take it because they always seem to be ahead of Piper and Paul in the rhythm dance. And although Piper and Paul can sometimes surpass them, they're only about a point from each other for the highest score in the free dance. I think that's where Piper and Paul may make up some room, but they often struggle with levels on their 1-foot section and their step sequences. But, Maddie and Evan are prone to mistakes at big events when it counts. But I have them ahead in the rhythm dance, and then I think that Buffer will take the win for them.
Okay, we'll catch up on Monday.
Okay. It looks like you got hands for me in the next one. Let's head on to the pairs event, where I have Germany's Minerva Fabian Haase and Nikita Volodin taking first place. And second, Japan's Miran Kihara. And third, I'm going to give it to the Georgians, Burilava and Metelkina.
Okay, where I differ is I think that the Japanese, who are former world champions, the reigning world silver medalists, they were injured last year, losing to the Canadians. But I think the cream rises to the top. I think that Rico and Ryuichi are going to win this competition. But yeah, it's hard to say, but I think that they have that connect. Don't you love them on the ice, like that connection?
They absolutely have that connection, but I find that the Germans have this refinement that would usually take teams years to build. And this is what I really like about them. And of course, the Georgians hit 140 early, were the first ones in the Grand Prix series to do that. But at their last Grand Prix, they hit 144 in that free program. And the Japanese have yet to do that. Mira's been struggling with those side-by-side jumps at both those competitions. Of course, Grand Prix Final, they have time. We'll see how that works out. But that's why I think they're going to take the gold.
What about the women? What do you see happening there? You're going to go with the obvious, aren't you?
Yeah, we're going to go with the obvious. You'd think she'd be tired at this point of winning, but she's not. And the start of her seasons aren't always the best, but Kaori Sakamoto, she won both her Grand Prix this year, and she scored a huge 152 at NHK Trophy. Of course, that's her home country, so you can expect a little bit of help from there. But this is close to her world scores, so I predict that she will take this as long as she skates really well and clean.
And you have in the second place Amber Glenn, who also won both of her Grand Prix events. So why don't you think she can do it?
She's been on an upward trajectory. We've seen Amber Glenn throughout. She's been on the Grand Prix series for 7 years. This is the first time she's medaled or won both of her Grand Prix ever. And she is prone to making mistakes. If there's one thing that throws her off, she completely implodes. We have seen a different Amber. She's working on her mental health, and she's made one mistake, but the rest of the program has been flawless. Plus, she has that triple axel. The skating skills aren't as good as Kaori Sakamoto, so that's why I have her in second, but that triple axel will keep her really close to her.
I have Hannah Yoshida in second place, and she set a personal best in the short, and that short program is choreographed by Corey Nickel, and I think it's a great vehicle for her. I think if she can do what we know she can do, I think there's more upside to her. Like I know you had Mona Chiba in third place, and anyway, we'll see what happens, but. Could be a Japanese sweep, as we've said, because 5 of the 6 competitors in the women's event are Japanese.
Absolutely. And I think that has a high possibility. But this is what I want to happen in my heart.
In your heart.
Which, of course, the judges care about. They don't. So let's head on to the men. Okay. I think, again, obvious for the singles event, Ilya Malinin will take the gold.
Yes, it's hard to argue with that. I mean, just his scoring potential, right?
You can't touch that technical element score.
Yeah.
He is unmatched. Even without his quad axle, which he does not need, he is surpassing all of the other men quite easily. Of course, he will still have challenge from Yuma Kageyama, who also has a plan for quads in his program, but that quad flip has been eluding him. He will need it to beat Ilya Malinin because that second mark, his program components, will take him there.
And both of them are undefeated. And then third place.
He's a last minute entry because Adam just pulled out, but Mikhail Shaidarov, I think, will take bronze. He's got that new handy little toy, the triple axle quad toe. His skating skills have improved ever since he kind of came on my radar 2 years ago. I'm like, this man is going to be a dark horse in the men's event. Not only that is he talented and good jump wise, he's also really entertaining. I don't know if you saw his gala performance at Cup of China.
Well, you showed it to me, so please let's show our viewers what he did. It's interesting.
Well, as you can see, he's in a panda costume, Kung Fu Panda, to be more specific, and doing this
To
fun.
Brittany. To Brittany.
Brittany, I mean, how can you go wrong? Figure skaters love it. I can guarantee you that the Chinese crowd also loved it. And I
mean,
think,
how do you skate in that?
I think he tries a jump that's about to come up right now. I think a triple toe. And again, you can't. But there
Well,
he goes.
there's padding when you go down. Right? When you hit the ice, it's got to feel good being in the Kung Fu Panda outfit, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. So if he, I think all top six will
Okay,
probably at the gala, but if he medals, he'll definitely be there, and we get to see that again.
Okay, wait, maybe Kevin's out, he's in,
Yeah.
right? Mikhail. Go, Mikhail, go.
Go, Mikhail, go. Yes. And I think that's it, pretty much. Wow, Brenda, we did that so fast.
Yeah, but what about the Grand Prix? We have to talk about the juniors.
Yes, we do have to talk
right?
about the juniors. Of course, you can watch the Grand Prix Final on CBC Gem starting December 1st. And like Brenda said, we will also have the juniors, and Canada will be represented by two entries in the pairs event. Julia Quattrocchi and Simone Desmarais from the Excellence Rosemary Skating Academy, and Jasmine DeRoche and Kieran Thrasher from Oakville Skating Club, where they also train with the Japanese team of Mura and Kihara.
Yeah, and they finished first in their one event, second in the other, and a lot of people have them as possibly winning it all. So see what happens. But
They're very close. They're ranked second heading into this, and the points between them and the first place team are really, really close. So this could absolutely be a golden event for them. Of course, like I said, you can watch the juniors on CBC Gem as well, starting 10:30 a.m. December 5th. It's super exciting to be a junior with the seniors. I remember I was actually the first event where they combined them in Seoul, Korea.
Right.
It was the height of the Mao Asada, Yuna Kim rivalry. And so it was so cool to just finish your event and then just go watch your heroes and then just be rascals around Seoul.
oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, so Monday, we meet, we discuss,
Recap.
find out that I was right.
We shall see. We shall see.
Okay.
And you'll also be joining us from Budapest.
That's right. I'm
So-
there for the World Short Course Championships. So I'm going to have water. We'll have to freeze it over for our, but yes.
You're going to do a 12 for us?
Yeah, yes. Oh.
Of course, you can join us for that recap December 9th. We'll be starting around 2 p.m., give or take. That's it for our preview of the Grand Prix Final. We will see you. Enjoy the skating. Bye-bye.